Hello and welcome to Pals Pulls. This is the Comics Pals weekly live show where we review comics for you guys. The gang is not all here. Marco ever absent. If Tyler's ever present, then Marco is ever absent. And so he is not here. He is actually on an excursion to Kale's neck of the woods, who somehow managed to make the show. Hello,
So,
Kale.
what's up, hot dog? The weird part is the great lengths he went to not be on the show.
You went
We
really far
even,
to avoid the show.
yeah, we went to comic shops for Human Target and everything, and he was like, "Listen, I came this far. Like, what am I gonna do?" And they didn't have Human Target, but so he was like, "Well, listen, I can't be on the show. I'm not gonna get to finish Human. I'm not gonna show up for the last review." Okay, Marco.
Wow. Wow.
Fugitive.
Real lack of commitment there.
Lack of
But
ambition.
yeah, I agree. But
Marco,
the
you're
rest of
great.
us are here. Tyler, don't pull
I
that.
had to even it out. It was too much. Too much.
It's 2-on-1. That's not even. You didn't
I mean, that's
balance
how
it.
Marco likes it.
We would need someone else here to balance
Wait,
it out. And that person
wait.
is not here.
Fair. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. So, anyway, we do have four interesting comics to talk to you guys about today. We've got Cosmic Ghost Rider #1. We've got I Am Iron Man #1. This won the listener poll, which I think was a genuine shock to each of us. I did not expect that. I know the creators did retweet this, so obviously that had some part to play.
That you're going to say the creators did expect that. So I guess they would have. They retweeted
it. We've got Phantom Road #1. This was a Jeff Lemire joint. So
What's the cover, Sean?
Oh yeah, I had to get this one because this cover freaked me out. If a cover freaks me out, I got to buy it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the weird like alien looking guys, and then of course, the end. We're all bummed about it, but we have reached the end of Human Target with Human Target #12. Does Tom King stick the landing? I'm not saying Greg Smallwood. Greg Smallwood stuck the landing in the first issue, and that's not debatable. Does Tom King stick the landing? We're going to get into that. Before we do, I want to let you guys know how you can support the show all over the internet. Of course, we are the Comics Pals, so all social media platforms at the Comics Pals. Patreon.com/the Comics Pals is the best way to support us for less than the price of what, Kale?
Butt plug. Oh.
Well, the cup of coffee I paid for today.
There you go. I knew it. I didn't know it, but I knew it.
We went to Dunkin' Donuts, and you know what?
What?
That coffee tastes like garbage.
They have Dunkin' Donuts in Liverpool?
Yeah, Brexit has done a real bad job of letting garbage in.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys copied all the shittiest parts about the U.S.
Yeah,
What a shame.
I've got a Taco Bell here that's absolutely ruined my taste for Taco Bell.
Oh, you're gonna say colon.
And colon.
Hey, real quick, Tyler, we're not live on YouTube, huh?
Refresh. It's there.
Okay.
It had a hiccup. Yeah, but
okay. Cool. Yeah, so not just that, you get our newsletters, you get our exclusive show over there, Palling Around. You get a nickname and a shout out on the main show. So there's a lot of fun to be had. You get to vote in our book clubs and things like that. So lots of cool stuff over on patreon.com/the Comics Pals. If you want to watch this show live, you can do that every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. The main show, 10:15 a.m. every single Saturday Eastern. I strongly suggest, if you are not the type to catch the main show live, if you're awake but you kind of want to do other things, that's cool. I strongly suggest this week that you make it, because we have a big announcement that you're going to want to be present for. If you're a fan of this show, you want to be there.
We're expecting.
Yes.
Marco's pregnant.
Maybe.
Honestly, wouldn't surprise me. He'd figure it out.
Oh boy. All right. Well, let's talk comics. Let's get into Cosmic Ghost Rider #1. This is Stephanie Phillips on the writing, hot off the success of Grimm, with Juan Cabal on art, Espen Grudejern on colors, and VC's Travis Lanham on letters. Now, I have no familiarity with Cosmic Ghost Rider whatsoever. Tyler, I know that you do, so you can fill in any gaps. But the biggest thing to know is that Cosmic Ghost Rider is the Punisher with Ghost Rider powers, the Spirit of Vengeance. And that is wacky as hell. I didn't know this is what was going on in the cosmic neck of Marvel's woods.
When I open, I also don't know anything about Cosmic Ghost Rider other than he exists and is based on is it Bill Burr, the comedian?
Wait, really?
Like his-
I think Donny Cates made him, so I don't.
Yeah. I think it's Bill Burr. His voice is supposed to sound like him. I could
I love that
I
so
could be
much
off
more
with
now.
that.
And
Yeah. I opened the credits page and it just talked about his origin. Frank Castle is the Punisher, and now he's Cosmic Ghost Rider. And it's not like there's no alternate reality shenanigans. There's no like, or at least none that they go into. It's just like, this is it. This is how it is. You know this guy. Don't worry about it. Now he's Cosmic Ghost Rider.
He's actually he's the Punisher who becomes the Spirit of Vengeance, and then the Herald of Galactus.
Yeah, they talked about all that. Yep.
And then Thanos' best friend. I think it was the Thanos that
His right
Donny
hand
Cates
is what it said.
And Jeff Shaw Thanos run. Good stuff, that book. Yeah,
I mean,
it's very comic booky, but kind of straightforward in a way.
right. I agree with that. I didn't have any problems adjusting to what this is. I think Stephanie Phillips did a fine job, sucking us into this world without trying too hard. Oh, please, Tyler, Jesus.
Oh, did I make a face? Whoops.
Yeah, of course you made a face. You were Tyler Olson. They did enough to make this easy to read from that perspective. That being said, I couldn't connect with this. Maybe it's because I don't care as much about like cosmic goofy shenanigans like this. Like even the premise of it is not something that I would typically read. I chose it for the show this week because I thought it was kind of different and I want to see what Stephanie Phillips is up to outside of Grimm. But this did nothing at all for me.
I would argue this did nothing.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
like it's it's two stories, but for what?
Right.
Like the second story feels like it's going to be sort of an anthology, sort of scary stories with the Cosmic Ghost Rider, which is okay, but it's I'm also like, I would kind of rather have a longer story for the first issue, like
Right.
Murphy says, Sean, I guess you could say your experience was grim.
Yes, I think you could.
That was a good laugh, Sean.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm with you, Cal. Like, the whole point of Cosmic Ghost Rider is that he's stupid cool. He's like an action figure you wish you had as a kid. And half this book, the main story is him not being Ghost Rider. More than half.
Yeah.
That's like a good 2/3 of the main story. He's just
which is
old man
hilarious.
Hawkeye. He's old man Logan. He's old man Frank Castle in a Western, out of costume, trying to be the outsider. Like, that's not what I want out of that.
Well, for me, that was interesting. Somebody comes in to hunt him, and he's got to like defend them. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I can jump on here. And then he does the thing where he wakes up and he's somewhere else. And okay, that's weird. I can jump on here. And then it ends.
Yeah, no, there's no forward momentum, really. But also, it's just a Western story. It's like cookie cutter Western. And like the previous Cosmic Ghost Rider stuff has been like really, really crazy, wacky shit. Like at one point, he fights a future Guardians of the Galaxy, and like one of them is like Groot and Rocket combined into one person. Howard the Duck's on the team. The Juggernaut and Cable are the same person. Like that's the kind of shit I kind of want in a Cosmic Ghost Rider thing. I don't want to think about familial drama. You know what I mean? Like, this wasn't what I wanted out of this at all.
It's very different than what you would imagine it to be.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, there is quite a bit of setup here, and I'm sure things will get more interesting. But for a concept that is as offbeat as this, you would think that the book would have a similar tone.
Mhm.
The book's tone doesn't match the character, or at least the presentation of the character. Like, look at this cover. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, like this looks goofy as hell. It's cool too. It's not like dumb. It's cool, but that neither goofiness or coolness is present in this book. Nothing you would expect is here. And that's the problem.
Even the colors, like the colors on the cover and the art is a lie to what's in the book. Like we don't really get that. You don't get those really weird neon space Marvel Cosmic stuff, or even really his chains much. He's not even wearing the same costume. He's wearing this white thing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It was just not what I signed up for, and not what the cover led me to believe it would be.
An unfortunate miss, I think, from a creator who really has been on a hot streak. Did the art turn you guys on at all? The Wonka Ball art?
I like Wonka Ball. I think he was the artist on I think there was Elektra series not too long ago, and there was also Laura Kinney as Wolverine. I believe he did some of that. That being said, it was just in this. Like you're it's a cosmic space story. He didn't get to play with that at all.
Yeah. It was just a bar scene.
Yeah.
Like it was good, but again, there's like I kind of feel bad for Wonka Ball because there's nothing cool for him to draw.
Yeah, I got to agree. We've seen Wonka Ball get to do more elsewhere. This was so pedestrian, and it's like this is a creative team that could have torn this up. I don't think you can't tell an emotional story with this character, but I think it has to be, similar to like a Deadpool in the sense that, you can get to a point of a message or something like that, and the through line can be there, but it can't be drenched in drama. It has to be goofy, or it has to be something super cool. This cover, like what is happening in the mind of the artist that drew that cover, I'd rather see that way more. It's just like, where is he at? Who's he fighting? What's he doing? It looks so interesting. And then the book is not that. So I would have to say pass. No one was done justice here. And there's nothing about this particular issue that makes me want to come back for the future, especially not for $5. Hate to say it. Price is absolutely a factor. And I just wasn't compelled to want to come back.
Yeah, like I liked the first story. That's like the main block, but there was nothing to hang on to.
Right.
So pass.
And like I'm looking through like Marvel.com's like reading list for Cosmic Ghost Rider, and like there's like the Paul Scheer Ghost Rider Destroys the Marvel Universe. There's Donny Cates where he's fighting a space shark. There's Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider where he's like fist fighting Galactus. Like there's cool stuff there. He doesn't do anything in this.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And it might just be one of the things where it's like like it might pick up, but it was so little in the first issue, it didn't sell me for a second issue.
It makes me wonder if there was something that happened toward the end of the first book, or maybe trying to dip their toe into this, 2 story for, you know, more pages for more money stuff that DC's doing.
Right.
Ugh.
Not a selling point, not for this book. Let's talk about the listener pick this week. I Am Iron Man #1. A big surprise that it won the poll, which is always on Twitter. You can vote to determine between 4 books which of those you want to hear us review. If you want to submit a book to be entered into the poll, just leave us a comment. Anywhere you can get us at, whether it's Twitter, whether it's a YouTube comment, Discord, wherever, just leave us a comment. We'll see it and we will add it to the poll. So this is I Am Iron Man #1. Now, I'm sorry if I butcher these names, but I will do my best. Morewa Ayodele, and then Dotun Akande, with Joe Caramagna on the letters. Dotun did the art here. I need someone smarter than me to explain to me what I was supposed to get out of this, because I didn't understand it. I genuinely didn't understand this comic, and that rarely happens. Didn't get it.
I'm with you. I don't really know. I think the only hint that I have that can kind of tell me what the story is about is that the very end, it wasn't like a letters page, but it was like a letter from the writer saying, "Hey, it's cool for you to join me on this look through Tony Stark throughout the during certain periods of time." And I think this was like a past, present, future sort of story with this one gooey guitar villain
Yeah.
following, but like, I don't know what it says about Iron Man. That's the thing. Like, you can do that story, but I don't feel like it said anything about Tony Stark. Does he do cool stuff here? Yeah, he makes a friggin' holographic mech at the end. But it doesn't tell me anything new about the character that I can tell.
I think that's the key. Is it doesn't, granted this is only issue 1, but at the moment it doesn't say anything new. The action I think hangs on future Tony Stark, who has to save New York or save his parents or something, and he chooses New York. And that's what has sent him on a time travel journey for this guitar lady. So my thinking is Tony Stark will always choose the greater good, whether he likes it or not.
That like posits that Tony never had access to time travel. Like, that dude could figure it out whenever. Like,
who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a fine message to hinge a Tony Stark story on. Maybe not as a mini, just because like there's an ongoing Iron Man story. We're getting Iron Man. How does this justify itself? That message is not enough to justify a whole side mini, to me, not in my mind, especially if it's going to be delivered in a way that's very unclear. I would give credit to the story if it was unclear, but I could tell that there was like something deep being threaded in, and it's like, okay, I don't get it yet, but I know and trust that I'm on a ride right now. I didn't feel that way. It didn't feel like, oh man, this is like, think about like how you felt like when you read the first issue of House of X. You don't know what the hell's happening necessarily, but it's so good that you want to find out, and you're okay with what you don't know. I can't say that about this.
and it wasn't like an I don't know, as in like, oh, I don't know because I need to reread it, or I don't know because I'm not being given the information. Like, this has a clear bow tied around it. Well, not a very clear bow. Well, you can tell this is the end of this story. It's like a one and done sort of story, but like, I didn't get it. Also, granted, I'm kind of tired of Tony Stark. Like, I'm cool with like putting him on the back burner. Like, I am not an Iron Man stan. Like, so it's not my cup of tea.
But that, I mean, come on, this is not a traditional Iron Man story. Like you could appreciate a story if Iron
Sure,
Man's the main
yeah,
character,
you're
if it's
right. You're
good.
right. Yeah.
It didn't register and it didn't resonate, and I didn't get it. Like I just didn't.
And there were bits in it too where it's like, oh, are you trying to tell me something here? Like at one point, Tony Stark's in a strip club.
That was cool and funny.
Yeah.
And he mentions like that the stripper has like all these bruises and stuff. And I'm like, oh, is this going to be like, oh, he's going to be, attacking the person who might have given her those bruises? And it was like, no, she just falls on the pole. Like it's just part of the gig, And I'm like, why is this here? I don't know.
Yeah, so it seems like the time travel is being shown through the suits.
Yeah.
But other than that, there doesn't seem to be a ton of differentiation between the time periods.
He's the same age.
He's the same age. The only like I said, the only thing that changes is the suit, which is like on par with an Iron Man story. But like for an Iron Man celebration, even if the end Tony Stark is supposed to be 60 or whatever, he didn't look 60. And the colors were all the same. And as when he's in the bucket Iron Man suit, he still looks like hand drawn Robert Downey Jr.,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. No real visual indicators that we're shifting or things are changing or anything like that. Like I said, maybe I just didn't get it. Maybe on the Comics Palace podcast, we just, for some reason, didn't understand this. But if you ask me, this just was like whatever was trying to be communicated it wasn't communicated.
I was confused, yeah. What'd you think of the art? I'll say this, and this might sound like a bad thing. It has potential. This is like I know that sounds bad, but I think there's something there.
To me, this felt like early Marvel Jamie McKelvey.
Yeah, I could see that.
What was it? Was it X-Men season 1?
Yeah, you're right.
Those old, season 1 Marvel's Earth 1 books. Sort of stiff, but it feel like there's definite potential there, but it's not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to it.
Yeah. Like I think the figures are good. I thought the action was good in the drawing, but a lot of it was just sparse. Like there's just not much there a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And the coloring was very like what you see on the cover. That's the feel of the entire book, really. That kind of sandy, rusty, kind of bronze color.
Sandy is a great way to put that.
Yeah, but maybe it's supposed to be the Bronze Age Tony Stark. Maybe this is a meta thing that I didn't quite get. But I don't know, if the next issue was very silver, then maybe I'll see the pattern here.
There were a couple of panels that I really liked. There's one, where Tony's it's a yellow thin panel where Tony's jumping down and it says land right next to it. There are a couple of little bits that I thought were really cool and really stylized, but they just, the rest of the book wasn't that.
I'm going to go with a pass on this one. I was intrigued because of the creative team, being African. I thought, wow, cool. We can get like a different flavor here. This should be interesting. Well, we got a different flavor. It just wasn't one that really worked for us. Didn't fit our palate.
Did the villain do anything for you guys?
No.
I couldn't tell you her name.
Tammy, I think.
Her name was Tammy?
I don't think so.
No, there wasn't someone named Tammy in the book.
It may have been Tam, but it definitely wasn't Tammy.
Like
I like the idea of her name being
Tammy.
Tammy. That's a good villain name.
Yeah, it's Tammy. Tami.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that villain definitely did not work for me. I don't understand the connection between Tony Stark and guitars or whatever. Although the panel of him crying playing the guitar was actually really funny to me for some reason. But yeah, I will not be returning for this.
Yeah.
I am
Yep. Pass.
not reading the rest.
Don't want to go back down that road. But I am interested in the Phantom Road
Oh boy.
by Jeff Lemire, Gabriel Hernandez Walta, Jordi Belair. Steve Wands did the lettering and the design work, so double credit there. Had no idea what to expect on this one. I don't consider myself a fan of Jeff Lemire. Not that Jeff has not done things that I've liked, because that would not be true. Jeff Lemire has definitely done things that I've liked. But I wouldn't say that if I see Jeff's name on a book, I instantly have to buy it.
Mm.
Hernandez Walta, though, love what they do. And Jordi Belair is always a seller. Didn't know what the premise was on this either. But when I saw this cover, I was like, wow. All right. So it's got aliens. I like that. Let's see what this is about.
Oh boy.
I loved this.
Yeah.
I thought this was awesome.
Yeah. Lemire and Walta did my favorite TKO book, Sentient.
Yeah. Right.
And it's tremendous. So that Lemire doesn't necessarily get me to pop. I do like Walta a lot, but that team will get me to a book quick. Yeah, I also like this. However, it's an Image #1, and that has baked in problems for me that this book is absolutely guilty of.
Elaborate.
It sets up a premise and it gives you the tiniest morsel of a taste, but it doesn't feel like anything happens.
I'm with you, Kale. It feels like I was reading a trade and I just stopped reading, as opposed to this being a single issue. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Or like it's not built for a single issue.
It's the Image trade problem.
It doesn't end at a place where I feel like an issue should end. I was like, oh, that's it. This went by very quickly for me.
That said, what went by,
sure,
I really liked. And I do really think this book has a lot of promise, and I do look forward to reading it. But
I gotta say, I don't think I agree on this one, because the book reaches its end and we see, our protagonists, and like they clearly just killed a whole, load, like a dozen or so.
You got to kill Tacular.
Yeah, it was awesome. I reached that page and I was like, they're fucked. And that feeling for me was like, okay, they're fucked, but now I need to see how they're not going to be. Like, what are they going to do about this? That's how I felt when I saw that page. So for me, in a rare instance, this particular cliffhanger, if you want to call it that, actually worked for me pretty well, especially because it came off the back of a really crazy, really crazy moment in the issue where they touch that object.
What is that thing?
Yo, I don't know, but
It looks like old
this
turkey.
page freaked me out. I'm just gonna show it. Like this page freaked me out. So it's these two characters, and one of them is a trucker, and he meets this girl, and there's this object in the road. They both have this weird shared experience where they're seeing things. They touch this object, and like it causes like these like what yellow green
Show it again, Sean.
explosive lines to splash out all over.
Yo, if you stick a fork in a socket, it does the same thing.
Huh.
I believe you would know that.
Yeah.
It's
I learned
just
that one
it
a
was
couple
just
times.
awesome, and it freaked me out. And the fact that there was so much more that came after that, I was really happy with too. I feel like that is a place where certain people might have ended the issue, and they didn't, and I was really happy with that. So I don't know. I actually feel like from stem to stern as an issue one, this did literally every single thing that I would want an issue one to do.
For someone who doesn't like pirates, you like the phrase stem to stern.
Okay, all right. Listen, it's a phrase, all right, Tyler.
I know.
Don't
I know.
start with me, Mister
just-
Foot. How often do you bring up feet?
It's a bit.
Uh
So wait. Are we saying Sean's sexually attracted to pirates? Is that what we're saying?
Hey, what was that pirate's name in WWE? Sean, was it Paul Burchill and his
yeah,
sister?
yeah.
Oh, you know,
It's not a
be
very
some
good
pirates
pirate
too.
name.
No, not at
Paul
all.
Burchill.
Yeah, his whole thing was he was like a normal wrestler and he got hit on the head and he thought he was a pirate going forward. It's weird.
Oh, barrel-chested Paul Burchill.
I thought this was a good comic. I just don't think it was a good first issue. Really, like I wanted more. Maybe okay. Maybe I'm just spoiled after Black Cloak. Like they gave Black Cloak the right amount of page count to kind of get its point across. Like if this had gotten the Black Cloak treatment, I might have enjoyed it more.
That's not the Black Cloak treatment. Black Cloak was written for Substack. And so they had the luxury of already all that shit being done and just figuring out how to put it together. I feel like that's not a fair barometer to judge a typical single issue by.
Well, I choose to be unfair.
I mean, that's your prerogative.
I mean, but issue 2 to that, to Sean's point, like issue 2 for me sort of had the same problem. It's just like, I was reading it, I was really into it, and then all of a sudden it was done.
That I completely agree with as far as Black Cloak. I feel like that ended in a lukewarm way, the second issue.
Here's where I might be spoiled. I think the saga treatment is what I want out of a single issue, which I think is unfair. I want that cliffhanger. I want that, next time on Phantom Road, sort of thing. And I don't feel like I got that here. I went to swipe and there was nothing left,
But it left you wanting more, right?
Oh, I like the book. I'm saying I like the book.
Put the like aside. Did it leave you wanting more?
It left me wanting enough where like if I see this in my poll and we're doing it for the show, I'm gonna read it. But like I could also see myself like maybe looking over issue 2 if we weren't doing the show and then just like picking up a trade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I really think a lot of the image model now probably needs, especially for the first trade, probably needs to be like the TKO model. Release the trade,
Spicy.
first few issues, get everybody that first taste, at the same time, because that's how they're writing it anyway. They're just putting it all out. And it's just, this one worked for Sean, but like the last few image books we've read, with the exception of Black Cloak, has really just, it's not done enough.
That being said,
in the first issue.
That being said, one of the bits I did like about this is that our main protagonist is apparently a piece of shit, and I like that.
Relatable, huh?
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah, brother.
Dude, I was very invested in this character and his family.
He's wearing a vest, Sean.
because- What?
You said invested. I thought that was him wearing a vest,
Oh my
puffer vest
God.
joke. Is he wearing? Is he not
No.
wearing a puffer vest?
No, he's wearing a vest.
He is wearing a
Oh.
vest, but that's like
You're
my
working
mind doesn't
for that
work
one.
like that. Jesus.
Oh, okay.
But like the argument that that we see play out in this this family and stuff like that, like that I was very invested in, because like who doesn't have that experience, and being a trucker, this dude's always on the road, he's isolated from his family, that sucks. Like I feel like Lemire did a really good job of getting a lot of character work in. And I don't know. I was impressed by that.
Yeah.
What's so funny?
This is freaking guy in the chat over here. He's making me. He's you got to call for the man. I'm corpsing.
Jesus Christ. And then like there's all this like human drama stuff, but then there's also these crazy alien looking guys.
Yo, they're weird looking.
Yeah. Straight up disturbing. Like what you see is what you get if you're watching live and you see this cover. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
That's what you look like when someone goes down and you and sucks the soul out of you. You know.
Something like that. My pick of the week. Believe it or not.
Oof.
Ooh, no, it's not mine. Not with the next book we're talking about.
I
refuse.
don't think it's mine. And mine is the next book. I'll say this potentially controversial statement, not because of the book. It's because I didn't like anything else as much.
I gotcha. So if you had another middling book instead of the next book we're talking about, this would have been your pick of the week.
It probably would, probably
Fair.
would have been all right.
We've had those weeks.
Well, I guess the secret's out then. Human
Oprah's
Target.
the secret.
Sorry?
Oprah's the secret. It's been out for years, Sean. It's a very popular book.
Tyler, where are you?
Apparently in a time machine.
I'm with Kale.
What?
I'm just trying to introduce the next book, man. I don't know what you have going on.
I think this beer's a little stronger than I expected.
Thank you, Kale.
Oprah's the secret.
The Human Target, book 12, final issue, Tom King, Greg Smallwood. We've been following this. We've reviewed every issue, I believe, of this. And we've enjoyed it, every step of the way. Clayton Cowles, of course, on letters. The last issue, issue 11, gave us everything we needed to know, pretty much. It gave us all the answers. This is something that Tom King does a lot. In fact, on the Strange Adventures Book Club that you guys will be able to hear on Tuesday the 7th of our month of March, I bring that up because the same thing happens in Strange Adventures.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had that in mind.
Same. Yep.
Here in Strange Adventures, it was okay for me. I didn't love that fact, and I didn't think they made such amazing use out of the 12th issue that like they couldn't have refigured that out. But here, I did not like it at all. Not at all. That was a mistake. I don't get it. I do not get it. Why would you give up the whole end of the book in the prior issue just so that in this one, everybody can stand around and talk? We already know how ICE is going to feel about the fact that Christopher Chance is dead because they've been together. What the hell do we need an entire issue of that for?
Yeah.
I disagree. I
Boy.
loved this issue. I thought it did exactly what you almost didn't expect it to do. It does the opposite of what a comic book would normally do. It's a quiet issue. that kills the main character and lets you sit with that and the characters sit with that for weeks. And you kind of just see the fallout of it. It's almost like a slice of life book in a way. It's a slice of life for Ice and how she deals with that. There's a bit of grief. There's a bit of guilt. That bit with her and Fire. I think there's I took a screenshot of it. I'm trying to bring up the exact panel that I saw. Where is it? Here. Okay, yeah. So Fire says, what is it you're supposed to say? Better to have fucked up and loved than to not have fucked up at all. Like, I just like those little quiet moments there, which I don't think we really get with superheroes. And like, I love that about this issue.
What?
This whole book was quiet.
And I know, and I like how it sticks with that. It doesn't do the comic book thing at the end. It just continues it.
What would the comic book thing have been?
Oh, that he survives and he finds some solution to not die, and they live happily ever after.
No one was looking for that. That wouldn't even be a comic book thing. That would be a bad story thing. That's not limited to comics. First of all, I don't disparage the industry, but beyond that,
Well,
no, that's
Yeah,
that happens
like
everywhere.
Think about the three books we just read.
You're not wrong, but it's not like comics hasn't earned that either.
Yeah, but I don't like when people say like, "Oh, this is comics. This is storytelling."
Superhero,
the
comic.
good and bad of it. No, the good and bad is all storytelling. You kidding me? Have you seen a Star Wars movie?
No,
Have
I've
you
never
seen
seen
Jurassic Park? You know, like, come on. But putting that aside, putting that aside, the whole book has been how Ice feels about things. So we already know she feels guilty because they dealt with that. We already seen her with Guy multiple times because they've dealt with that. We've seen her have conversations with Fire. They've dealt with that. The only thing that felt new here to me was the conversation with Lex at the end and how they reached that point. And I like that. I like how Martian Manhunter factored in. I like the final plan. That's all cool. But I don't feel like I got anything out of seeing Ice talk and talk and talk about how we already know she feels. It's just it's just like, why?
Yeah. And I don't think there was any closure here that was strong enough to justify this.
Right.
Because the only thing I think I'll comfortably give you is her, that she decks Guy. And, I think that's a clear enough sign that her, relationship with him or whatever is over. Fine. But like, we've spent this whole book knowing that Ice isn't the sweet heart anymore. So she really rubs that in John John's face. And it's just like, I know. You've changed. It's a character arc. Yeah, I get it. You pulled a gun on the guy. All right, fine. Like,
that's what I like though, because we knew that, sure, but she never really put it out there. She was always hiding it. So it's her kind of becoming what she actually is towards the end there. And I like that as a character bit. I like that she pretty much shut Martian Manhunter up. Like, hey, I've seen you fucking around and getting into people's brains without them telling you to. You're not so great. I thought that was great. And her constantly repeating, "Oh, because I'm the sweet girl in this," kind of drove that home. And it was like, all right, yeah. This is Ice's story, though. Like, this whole thing was Ice's story. Ice is with an apostrophe, not an Ice's story. Yeah, I know you were gonna say it.
Who knew? I thought the book was called Human Target, and I thought it was about Christopher Chance.
Maybe the target is those that we've met along the way, Sean.
The human we've met, we've had. Yeah.
I mean, like, I like how this is like just a small book. It's a super small book that we don't really get in DC. It's really about two people who fell in love in 11 days and what happens because of that. I thought this stuck the landing for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think it's bad. but I also don't think it justified itself.
I don't think it's bad either. I like the overall resolution, but I feel like a whole issue to get to that point. We won't spoil it because it's not necessary. Um, a whole issue to get to that point, which to me was the only like I don't know. I don't care about ice. Like I don't care about ice. I care about ice
Fuck
in
Ice. Yeah, you're right.
in Ice's relationship with Christopher Chance
Yep.
and the complexities of that. I don't care about Ice in this one, as the main character. Compare it to Strange Adventures,
Damn.
where in Strange Adventures there are 3 very clear main characters set up, and each one of them feels pretty important. So when you get to the end, and we're primarily dealing with Alana, it makes sense. But even then, the main character, quote unquote, the book, the guy that it's being sold on is Adam Strange. And just like here, that character dead and gone in the finale.
I don't think you need like.
It's the same thing, Tyler. Come on.
I don't think you need the main character to be in the book the whole
But how
time.
many times
it's
are
a
going to do the
maxi
same
series.
thing? It's the same exact thing. It's literally the same exact thing.
That authors play with themes?
What theme is that?
The
What's
theme of
the
the
theme?
death of the character, the main character.
That's a theme?
It can be, yeah.
Explain that.
That's
a
just,
theme.
it's to show that it's about the character's influences on the people around him. It doesn't
I love hearing
need to
when
be.
you're bullshitting.
I'm not bullshitting.
I love
Also,
it.
check out the Strange Adventures review coming Tuesday. That'd be March. I don't have a clock on. my
7th.
calendar. Thank you, Gail.
I think it's the format that's the thing. Like, it's a very clear, especially from Strange Adventures. I think Rorschach did it too.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You
Yeah, I don't
wrap
remember
that
either.
bad boy up, the penultimate issue, and then you've got to suffer the consequences in issue 12. It's like, but boy, we really didn't need that.
So you don't think like a series needs like a whole single issue for the denouement of it?
No. Like, tell your story and wrap it up. If you've got 12 issues, use your 12 issues. How many pages was that conversation with Martian Manhunter?
About 4, I would say.
That's 4 too many.
4 too many? Not even 3 too many?
No. Yeah, you know what? That's 4 too many.
All right, sticking to your guns. I like it.
It just it could have been shorter, or it could have been meatier, like I really like this series, and again, like I think to a certain degree you're right about her character growth, but I think there were better ways to show it. I don't think this did that.
So the other thing that there have been complaints about is Tom character assassinating, and I feel like with both Guy and Martian Manhunter, it's like kind of rough. I never relax, please. I never like, why is Martian Manhunter being portrayed this way? Is this in his character?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I always thought he was like
Boy Scout?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a character assassination of Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner is a piece of shit and always will be. And he's dumb. So I think that this tracks for Guy.
But it's
I
the
think it's-
only note.
I don't think there's much to Guy, at least in the main. If you're doing a Guy centric story, sure. But I think on a base level, Guy is always the same, and this is who Guy is.
But like, all he does is get punched,
Yeah.
hit, or the butt of a joke in every single appearance he has in the entire Human Target.
I would say that's the case for every DC appearance he has.
Yeah.
It's kind of his thing. Yeah. Martian Manhunter, I wouldn't say it's a character assassination, but it is different for him.
It's in our Strange Adventures review, I said that Adam Strange comes off as pathetic at certain points, and that's exactly how Martian Manhunter felt.
I viewed it as Martian Manhunter's whole thing is that he is trying to be this. He's trying to take the human aspects of humanity and kind of become that. And I think this is showcasing the shitty parts of humanity that he becomes. The one that takes. What? Pardon me for reading into the book. What that he breaks the rules that he's probably the one who set in the Justice League with intermingling, and he sleeps with fire. I mean, I probably would too.
Martian Manhunter, well known for those things.
For what?
Yeah, that's the question. Dude likes Oreos, so clearly he's into sleeping with his coworkers and crying after sex. Like,
did he cry?
He came across as very lame, like extremely lame, and it feels like he was being stepped on to ultimately make Ice look, I don't know, better, or to give her high spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think this was horrible. The art's still great. Greg Smallwood is still who he is. And some of the moments that we do see between Christopher Chance and Ice when they're on the beach or whatever, like those are very nice. But I really, really, really wish that issue 11 had just been the end of this, because as good as that was, as strongly as I felt about that, the quality of that one, I feel the opposite about this one.
Well, we knew he was going to die, and we knew each issue was a day, so him dying in a whole issue being about that makes sense.
Why, if we already knew it was going to happen?
We spent a whole. It's the first issue. They told us he was going to die.
We spent a whole bunch of time dealing with something that we already knew is the case. And then this issue doesn't provide us with any new essential details whatsoever.
I'd argue we don't need details. I'm cool with just living with the people. That's just my taste.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't pass, obviously, because we've been doing
11 issues. You gotta finish it up.
But yeah,
comic book.
For me, this left me wanting as a finale.
You think it soured you on the whole series?
No.
Okay. Now with that art,
I'd be interested in seeing how we feel with reading the whole thing. In a trade, reading it all at once, because that might make it swallow a little easier. Because this also wasn't a long read.
No,
it's a lot of people, specifically Ice, standing around and looking off into the distance. So, after getting that 11th issue in the trade, that might swallow a little easier than having to wait and have our hopes up for a month.
There's a whole issue, the whole page of this issue with her about to drink the poison she killed, a Chance with. But there's no dialogue on it. There's not a lot of dialogue in this. It's a lot of quiet scenes. Even I know you said the whole series is quiet, but this issue in itself is extra quiet.
Yeah, definitely. And I think again, that's another way in which it felt like fluff. But you could also obviously always make the argument that the art is telling the story as well, which I would never disagree with. I just don't feel like there was much here. That whole scene with the pizza guy, what the fuck? What the fuck? I was like, wait, am I being pranked?
You like the pizza guy? You're being Fredo-phobic right now, I think.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a mood. I'm not trying to be, but I read this last night and I was just like, man, this is disappointing. Yeah, maybe it'll read better ultimately. It's possible.
I'll give you a playlist to listen to while you read this. And I think that'll solidify it.
Oh God, I don't think anything could make it
1960s French music. I got you.
Oh, my God. There it is. That's what could make it worse.
What a turnoff.
Wow. Anti-French.
Oh, yeah. On this podcast, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Brexit. I get it.
What do you want?
Wait,
Soccer
how is
glue.
this your pick of the week, Kale? That really says something about this week, then.
And no, yeah, you're right.
I guess 2 words, Greg Smallwood. That's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
Again, like I liked Phantom Road, but it didn't do enough. This also didn't do enough. But Greg Smallwood.
Fair.
Matt, I wouldn't say I hated this issue. It's just that I feel that for as talented as Tom King is, and he is extremely talented, and I loved every issue of this prior, and his parts to me absolutely matched what Greg Smallwood was doing. But I think that this is just my thought, I think something went wrong along the way where I just don't feel like there was enough here to make 12 issues justifiable. And I think when you're telling me that this is a story that's about a guy, who is dying and we need to figure out who killed him, and then you tell me who killed him in the 11th hour, and then we spend the whole next issue just kind of standing around, especially for a book that didn't close. The 11th issue didn't close on action. So what are we cooling down from? I don't know. I'm glad for whoever liked this, but this just wasn't for me. I would say it was a letdown as a final issue. Yes, that is how I feel.
I also think it doesn't help that Tyler's egging it on as well. Like,
am I egging it on? I didn't think I was egging it on. I was just offering a different opinion. That's all.
Well, I'm sorry. What did you think that was? On this podcast? Are you kidding me?
I thought it was a podcast.
Egging it on.
Jeez, this is how Marco feels weekly?
Well, no, he's
not here weekly. How could he feel like that, Tyler? I'm just kidding.
I guess I want to know how he feels.
It was just there.
It was there, yeah. And he's not, so.
I mean, he's not here this week, so I'm gonna run with it for this week.
Fair. Yeah.
And he could yell at me when he gets back. That's okay.
Catherine, I think we would all agree to still check this out as a trade, right?
Yeah.
100,000%. Human Target was our book of the year last year, and to this point, I can't, like, what? We've had 2 issues that came out this year outside of this one. So
10,
to this
11,
point,
12,
yeah, I would say it's probably still been the book of this year as well for me up until this issue. So it's very, very good. Worth reading. I would also say read Strange Adventures.
Agreed. Good plug.
That's for us, though.
I would say, yeah, right. Listen to our book club. I would say right at this moment, I think I enjoyed Strange Adventures more.
Oh boy, I'm gonna hit end stream right now. No, that's fair. It's a taste thing.
It's not because, at least I don't think it's because of this particular issue. I think it's just because Strange Adventures had me hooked to what was happening issue in and out. Even if issue in and out, I wasn't like in love with that issue. I still wanted to know what was happening. And the resolution to that wasn't transparent. Whereas I know I did, I don't know about anybody else. I said on the first issue review, it was ice. And I don't feel like that was very much in question. So because of that, I think Strange Adventures just ultimately landed in a better place in terms of what it sold me on from the beginning.
And also, you got Mitch Gerrards, Doc Shaner, and Greg Smallwood. Like,
Yeah.
3 very different artists, but like 3 artists that are on top of their game. So like, you can't go wrong either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to read the first half of this book.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Can't wait to see how it starts.
Yeah.
Yes, Catherine, that is a genuine recommendation. Strange Adventures is excellent.
It is good. It is. Yeah, it's good.
So those are our reviews for this week, but we want to tell you guys about the books we're excited for next week. So Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, so next week, I wanted to check out Predator. And I'm not the biggest Predator guy. This is Predator #1, but this is by Ed Brisson. So I'm an Ed Brisson guy. I like his stuff. His Ghost Rider stuff right now is really good. These, Alien, Predator, soon to be Planet of the Apes, Marvel stuff has kind of been like hit and miss. Nothing's really hooked me. But Ed Brisson's a pretty sure get for me. So we'll see what this looks like. I think go ahead, Cal.
I don't know what it is about Ed Brisson. Maybe it's just the titles he's been on. I associate him with violence.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. His X-Force run is really good.
He literally has a book called The Violent. So
that could be it.
That could be it. Yeah. Sean, was it you and I that both had X-23 Deadly Regenesis?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Laura Kinney. That's all I got to say.
Well, yes, for sure. But then what also was kind of cool was that Erica Schultz is on this one. And Erica Schultz is a creator, maybe even Kale, you might remember. We've seen her up and down the con circuit for many years.
Yeah.
She was at our very first con and many cons since.
Yeah.
This is not her first Marvel rodeo, but for her to be getting a book that's sort of higher profile, I'm pretty excited for her, and I want to see what they have to do with Laura Kinney. I like the fact that it's called X-23. I do appreciate that. I will definitely be reading this.
And then there was a poll by Kale, Dawn of DC's Adventures of Superman, John Kent, #1, Road to Injustice, the next chapter in the saga of the Super Son. Oh, wow. A lot of words on that cover.
I probably won't go ask for this. For that. Yeah, I don't know. I like John Kent. I'm not crazy about him heading to the Injustice world, but I like Electric Blue Superman. So if that's where he's going, I'm into it.
You don't got to read all the comments, Sean.
No, I was gonna respond to it in typing. I know I
Clear by from Dark Horse Comics, Kale. This is Scott Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Francis Manapul.
Francis Manapul.
Ooh, I miss that dude.
One of my favorite artists.
Best Flash artist next to like Wally Wood.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah. The Francis Manapul is like the main pull for me, but I think the concept here is that it's a world where everybody's in their own virtual reality simulation, and it's all always different. And that's pretty cool. It really sounds like it'll put Manapul to the test, and I'm down to see that.
All right, I just got some bad news on a text message
From Murphy.
No, my grandma who looks at a lot of auctions for me for comic books. She's a big fan of auctions. She was keeping tabs on a first appearance Jason Todd.
And she died.
It got too big. It got too big.
Oh.
Got too expensive, so I didn't get it. Wasn't that bad news, I guess. I hyped that up too far.
Maybe a little.
I'm glad that's what the bad news was, though.
Were there any other books?
Only 3 of us.
Nope, only 3 of us. And you and I agreed on one of them, so.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you. If you want to hear this show live, make sure you're tuning in on YouTube and Twitch at the Comics Pals. 6 p.m. Eastern every single Thursday. Saturdays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern for the main show. Patreon.com/the Comics Pals, where for as little as Kale,
$3.
you can support us, get access to our newsletter, and there's a lot of other cool stuff going on over there. So give that a look. Listen to our Strange Adventures book club that's dropping this Tuesday. That is Tuesday the 7th. So if you're listening to this after that, it is already out. You should read it. You should read it and listen to our thoughts, and then share your thoughts about it with us. We would love that.
Sure, I know we don't do plugs, but do you mind if I plug something real quick? I put 2 new videos on the YouTube. They're toy related, so if you're into that sort of thing, check it out. It's just a little time sensitive, so if you like that kind of stuff, appreciate it if you checked it out.
Yeah, I think you should. Even if you haven't necessarily thought about toys recently, they're doing some cool stuff. So
There's some good ones in this batch. Some that made me go, ooh, maybe I need to visit the old place of employment.
Oh, that'll be fun.
No, it won't.
If you want to just stare at my horrible mustache for 20 minutes, please do.
all right, guys. With that, we're the Comics Pal signing off. Take care.